I think will benefit Keith a ton in this matchup.
We shall see, but he does have to deal with this huge damage output from Sire. So Keith is definitely going to have to be on his movement, have to be on his P's and Q's, and paying attention to what he's doing and not take two back-to-back Saires to get pushed all the way across the stage by Sire. Unarmed Sire trying to come out. Keith able to get himself a little bit of room with a couple nairs, and he's back on stage going back to work.
All right, finding his proper footing once again. One thing that we've seen Keith stifled on a lot is his aggressive playstyle. He wouldn't overheat like Plum does, but the fact that we saw Sire shut down Plum effectively by catching landings with the setups off hammer pretty effectively and consistently might spell trouble for Keith. He swaps over to blasters immediately. Won't be as big of a problem once the hammer comes back out from Sire's end. That axe will have to put in work to find punishes.
It absolutely will, especially with the speed coming from this Mega Man pick. Sire's having a hard time putting that hammer. Okay, Keith's sitting back. There we go. Keith's just got a zone, bro. He has the advantage on the stage. He's just got a zone. Use those blasters. Get Sire into knockout range. Finish it off with the boots, just like that. There we go. Keith going up has the first strike.
Yeah, first strike. 180 damage on Keith's side, though. Keep in mind, not the craziest amount of defense. Even the unarmed recovery wasn't enough to take him out, but a breath of anything else will. Keith is going to use this time, though, with the axe, even though there's a lot of upper control for anti-aerial. That could have been enough for Keith to go for the setups. And there it is.
All right. Sire's going to go ahead and get the knockout here, keeping the stock count a little even. Just a little bit of damage he needs to make up for here. Shouldn't be too hard, especially when you're sitting on Teros.
Boots are back out. Edge guard. Can that be enough? Sire was not in this position at all slow in the last set.
He was almost caught right there. We saw the second exclamation point come out, but Keith gave him a little bit of room, let him come back up on stage. So Sire is going to whiff. Keith, though, catch him at the very end of that hitbox. Another gravity cancel D-Light. Still sending Sire back.
Like this call now, Keith is attempting to find the dare setup. Keep Sire in the air, maintain that distance. The hammer can't do nearly as much if he can't find a Sire. Flame sword out, not enough.
Swap back over to blasters. Sire fighting back unarmed a little bit here. Sire's not going to be have enough force to finish him off. Whip and throw out. Try to finish up with the recovery off the boots. Sire stays out of the way.
If Sire's maintaining a lot of distance here, I really like how he's playing his style. Of course, as I say that, though, it's the distance that takes him out.
Yeah, Keith, here we go. Trying to lock in game number one here. Sire trying not to let it happen. We didn't really point out, for you guys that don't know, as we finished up this last game, Sire does need to win 2 best-of-5 sets. Keith only having to win 1. Sire finished up with a Sire there as he gets Keith onto that final stock.
Only 16 damage difference. Theoretically speaking, Sire only needs to get, like, what, less than 10 hits to take down Keith?
Depending on what they are, he could burn through this stock very, very quickly. Movement's looking nice.
Just looking to fish for dares. Does not even want to go for anything wild just yet. Keith does not like to play off stage.
He's definitely at a disadvantage, especially being on blasters. Sire, though, coming over, was trying to see him sneak in here. Stomp Sire could do it at this point. But we saw in grand finals Keith being able to come back often. He's very, very, very good under pressure. He's very good in this situation, being down a full stock against the Teros here. So he's fighting back. Sire is going to send Keith way out. Can he get back up on stage? Sire, the brick wall of Teros, lets him back up. Sire slaps him away again, Keg.
No weapon. Not at all. Keith historically has been a championship hammer player. He knows exactly what to expect for the edge guard. He knows how Sire wants to play this out. He's looking for an opportunity in. An expert versus the craft itself. It's Sire to win game number 1.
All right. And just like that, Sire does have the advantage. A little bit to play with. Try and try things out a little bit. But Keith on the Wushang, dressed up in full Santa Claus gear. See if he can get himself a late Christmas present here.
I like this strategy from Keith. To win winter champs, you gotta become winter.
Gotta become winter, that's right. I like that. He is, he's becoming winter, becoming one with the event. Sire, though, great work off this axe. Keith able to stay out of the way of that second Sire. Weapon throw out. Big whiff off the axe Sire. Keith, though, having a hard time finding a way to get in with that spear. Getting slapped with another recovery off the axe. Finally, gauntlets in hand. See if he's going to be able to do anything with him. So far, though, not a whole lot coming off the Santa Claus.
Yeah, I gotta say, not a fan, Slow.
Not a fan?
Not a fan of this.
Not a fan.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Sire's a fan. Sire's a fan of the
Oh,
Wushang
yeah,
right
of
now.
course. Yeah, biggest Wushang enjoyer I've ever seen over here. You're feeding the shark right now if you're Keith, and unfortunately this is not working out well for him. I'm expecting another swap after this game regardless of what goes down. I like the idea of having Spear. It's in such a good spot. You have plenty of capabilities of shutting down anti-aerial against Sire with his Sare, but
Just kidding.
that requires you to get in.
Yeah.
If I was, you know, counting my glory and looking to see a way to win this out, I'd swap to the Bodvar.
I mean, he's gonna have to do something because he's about to go down. He's about to go down 0-2, and I don't think there's anything he can do about that at this point.
That's true, but I see where Keith is coming from too, where he does have 2 best of 5s where he can experiment and see what's gonna work here.
I mean, for sure. But I think he's definitely going to have to use that second best of 5 at this point because he is in a rough spot finally. And I do mean finally getting that first stock off of Sire 2 minutes into game number 2.
Yeah, this is very unlike Keith's gameplay. Again, very aggressive player, does not like to overheat, doesn't play off stage very often. He is the kind of player that expects you to swap around, go for a punish, and he'll punish your punish. That is his bread and butter. You just cannot do that against the Taros.
Bro, Sire is on a generational run right now, bro.
This is crazy.
Okay.
Oh, that almost was a critical mistake from Sire's side. Just wasn't enough for Keith to follow through. Off stage though, and holy moly.
I will never doubt anyone ever again. Sire, oh my goodness. He's not just winning these games, he is bodying Keith these first 2 games. Like this is not close. This is not Keith is struggling. So we need to see what he is going to pull out of his bag of tricks here in game number 3 because so far he is not finding any success. 304 damage is all that came out from Keith. Literally half the damage that Sire put out to the absolute hit point. Half the damage.
I'm just looking back at my notes, and yes, historically we have seen the Wushang come out, and it was last seen in Spring Champs. It did end up winning for Keith alongside the Taros and Apriya. He is bringing out, okay. We saw this, I believe, back in Summer Champs.
This is a choice. This is a decision that he's making.
I'm not against this. Back in Autumn Champs, I'm looking back at my notes, we did see Keith go on a big run with a Thor pick and win it out.
It's not something you see very often. If PJ's watching on the plane right now, he is cheering at the top of his lungs on his flight because he is a Thor enjoyer. Not something you see very often at all. Thor is not something that we see pulled out very often, but it does make sense. Orb is fantastic. Keith is playing really well. It's just a matter of finding the right combination here and see if he's going to be able to do something on this hammer, on this Thor, but Sire going right back to work.
I think Keith is the fastest hammer player I've ever seen. His Orb we haven't seen yet, but we did see Sire struggle against Orb in the previous set, but that was against the when he was rocking the Zola, the Amethyst. Great neutral sig. Noticing so far that Sire loves to play anti-aerial with the Sares quite a bit. It's going to work out well to just keep catching Sire off and chip that damage away.
Keith finding some success here. It's about the first lead he's had.
Absolutely needs this lead.
Although Keith, though, stomps Sire. Gonna try and find the knockout here. Goes underneath for the unarmed recovery. Not enough, but there, the punish, the Sire. The breath of fresh air for Keith as he finally relieves some of this pressure and is able to put some offense on the board.
Yeah, Keith realizing now that Sire is a force to be reckoned with. Can't toy around with the Mega Mans and the Wushangs anymore. He's gonna have to bring out the heavy hitters. But unfortunately though, Sarah is out, and even the Roman Reigns is still giving Keith problems. It's only a 26 damage difference.
All right. Comes down to this, so Keith needs the next 3 games to avoid the reset. Sire trying to reset this bracket and get everything on even playing field here. Keith catching him with the neutral light. The get off me move of orb, if you will.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Deceptively long range, works out well for Keith. So good to get inside the hitbox as well. Plenty of capabilities to juggle around someone like Sire. It's just so tough at times to go for a confirm unless it's a side air. But there it is, stomping Sire. That's gonna be it for Keith, stock lead.
A comfortable stock lead. He's holding on to it. The Thor is looking very, very nice. Keith on that on the hammer is definitely working out for him as you see him immediately swap back over, showing that Sire how it's done a little bit on this hammer.
Working out well. Keith going back to old times. Sire trying to find a way in, does manage to land the punish into a side sig. Critical for Sire to need it. If he can just land something like that again, he's guaranteed himself a bracket reset.
Looking like a good possibility. Keith though, Sare's gonna rack up some more damage. He immediately throws that orb away. Weapon drop, there it is. Hammer in hand. See if he's gonna be able to bring it back. Sire though holding on. He wants this, he wants the reset. Neutral light connects, fadeaway Sire does not.
Keith can't overheat here. There's plenty of opportunities for him to make a mistake. Weapon throw is out. Sire, he bides his time. Recovery from Keith. Weapon juggle. A star from Sire. Side air is out. And finally, Keith and Joyers have a moment to breathe.
I worry. That worries me a lot. I really like the momentum that Sire had, and it was going so well. And then Keith took some of that momentum back, and that really kind of makes me worry for the state of the reset that Sire is working towards right now. Because I think if Keith has found the way to get through and be able to convert what was starting out in game number 1 as an absolute dog walk from Sire to now being able to get in a position where he confirmed game number 3 and now has that back on his side, I think we might see this start to fall away from Sire at this point.
I think going to a broader
what?
scope too. What's up?
Never mind. Never mind. I was.
Oh, did you see the Wu Sheng?
I was looking at the wrong thing.
Just thinking of the broader scope, I don't think the Roman Reigns is a bad idea going into game number 4 because, yeah, I mean, you know, if you lose this, it's going to be 2-2. You still have a game 5. You want to minimize the amount of games Keith is going to have to adapt around the Amethyst pick that I think is inevitable. Because if you go out now and you win this next game, you had the bracket reset, you really don't have many other options left in Sire's kit.
Oh, all the big damage coming out. Keith, though, does have the slight advantage. I say that until he catches a weapon throw with his teeth and taking out the bottom 45.
Yeah, this is looking really good. This is the best case scenario for Sire. Again, thinking about long term, even if we see this adaptability from Keith's side, he's had 2, now going on to 3 games to play around this Roman Reigns to see how it plays out. A lot of chances for adaptability. Yeah. You really want to maintain this Roman Reigns pick as long as you can to make sure, okay, I don't want you to know how I play my canon yet.
Keith finding his way back up with the neutral light. Sayre's going to connect as well. Another one. Oh, big damage coming off of this orb. It's the first time I've really seen the orb. He's been so focused on the hammer that we haven't seen really what this can do. Is Keith searching, smoothing, moving, trying to get in. Nair is going to connect. Another Nair connects. Sidelight, Sire, big damage. Recovery whiffs. Sire, though, recovery of his own into Sire. Gets rid of the stock, and he's 1 stock away from resetting Grand Finals.
1 stock left. The orb has found some good damage potential in the previous games, but you're right, it hasn't been enough to confirm stocks, and that's been the biggest struggle for Keith! Keith!
Player 1 wins.
I don't have words.
Silence.
Yeah, I don't have words. What do you say to that?
Knocked the win right out of me.
Yeah, that's all right. We got our reset. That was the whiplash I am getting in this top 3 of Southeast Asia Winter Championship is unreal. Keith, that was your game, homie. What happened?
It was.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. We're just gonna shake that one off. I think the players feel the same way, and none of it matters, guys. You know why? Because it is Grand Finals reset. We have 1 best of 5, and that is all that matters at this point. Is we are already getting back in, already striking these maps, and the final battle is upon us, Keg.
That's right. Keith did not win Winter Champs last year. The opponent that had his number all of 2025 and beat him in Winter Champs not playing in this tournament should be a runaway success for Keith, just like it was since spring of last year. Not quite the case. Bracket reset is out. The Southeast Asia player skill gap has closed in.
A little bit.
May no longer be the sole contender of this region.
I mean, a little bit. Looking very, very nice. All right, though. Like I said, though, we have fresh best of 5 set here. Got seed 1 going up against seed number 5. With seed number 5 just getting that reset. Anybody just happens to be joining us.
A lot of damage already. GC side sig wasn't enough for Keith to find the stray success off of Sire to get this first stock. Ledge guard is out though. Sire still spot dodges his way in, finding success in that factor. Again, small blast zones and small worlds end. This should be good for either one of these players to find a lot of success off of stairs. Stomp and Sire is out. Case in point, stock number 1, Keith with a pretty successful lead.
Yeah, Keith's locked in. I mean, I kind of wonder if it was just the point the last set where it was just so far down. Why play the extra games? Just go ahead and let Sire get the reset, start it over, and start fresh. And we're seeing that fresh start play out in spades from Keith here, as he is about to go up 2 stocks if he can keep this momentum going.
Yeah, no slowing down at this point.
No, you can't. You can't stop, won't stop. Keith,
oh,
sideline
Lordy.
stomp. Sire, still not the stock, but oh, great weapon throw from Sire, but it might not be enough. Sweat beats out, stock is gone. Keith cruising game number 1.
Yeah, at this point, we've seen how great Sire's hammer can be, but unfortunately against Keith's, who, again, he's played all year long last year, is just simply getting outclassed. Thinking farther ahead, though, I'm looking to see maybe the cannon coming out next game. I think that'll be huge for adaptability.
Oh!
Sire himself, what? Oh, sure, man.
I mean,
all right.
I'll take what you can get at this point, and it was enough to go ahead and get Keith off of that first stock. But Keith looking for the weapon drop, catches the Sire off of Sire's hammer. Can he get the drop? He does. There we go, sidelight Sire. Just getting that safe, easy damage. Knows what he needs. There. Stomp from Sire, whiffs, Keith, sidelight Sire. Working that orb, it's working out very well for him, Keg.
That's right. Just gotta find a way to play patiently. Sire's looking for an opportunity to make his way in. You want him to overheat. That's been a big problem for players up against Keith, is that they'll tunnel vision, and Keith takes advantage on the punish.
You almost saw it there from Sire as he went off stage with that ground pound. The neutral sig is gonna go ahead and catch though. Keith's gonna make it easily back to stage. No, he's not. He gets scooped down, sent down to the bottom, but Keith gets his options back, recovers back up on stage. Orb in hand, a nice snipe, keeping the distance. Sire though, the downlight will connect. Keith, hammer back in hand. He just needs to stop Sire. It's all he needs. I think a Sire might even get the job done, or a side sig. We're not picky around here. Keith gonna go ahead and confirm game number 1 in the reset.
Yeah, very clinical win coming out from Keith's side. I'm expecting a legend swap coming out from Sire. I'm expecting the Amethyst to come out, and there it is, right back to Small World's End, I'm sure. You want a small stage for this pick. We see the bans instantly out. And now, again, thinking farther ahead, this is going to be huge for Sire for adaptability. Frankly, I think his Amethyst is better than the Roman Reigns. We saw it completely destroy Sejaru way earlier on, and the cannon has not found a stopping force yet.
Okay, so here's my opinion on this.
Okay, I'm ready.
This Amethyst is either going to work out amazingly, or Keith is going to dodge right around this cannon.
Okay.
If
you think it'll be Orb or Hammer that does it?
I don't know. I think Keith, as long as he has the movement to kind of dance around and stay out of those big openers for cannon, I think that the cannon is going to be negligible in the set.
Okay, well, here's an interesting point, too, is that when we saw Sire face against Sejaru, it was just cannon. We barely saw any axe.
Yeah.
So are we going to see more axe? We're seeing it right now, but is this going to be a mainstay of the set?
I think that what we saw against Sejaru, though, was the situation of Sire saw that it was working and saw that Sejaru could not adapt to the cannon and just tighten the screws down. It just kept hitting him with the cannon.
And Sejaru's orb struggled against the cannon. Do you think Keith's orb will struggle?
That I don't know. It is a little harder to get in. I think with the hammer, he's got a little more reach, but we see him swapping back over the orb. Sidelight Sire gonna find its home. Weapon throw out to Sire. Edge guard out, and he catches Keith with it.
Okay.
Now watch out.
All right, Sire.
Now watch out for those active frames, buddy. They will catch you. Send him up, and there we go. The Sire is going to send Sire back out. Couldn't follow it up here. Does.
All right. It's almost like the first stock didn't happen. Complete clean reset for both sides. Hammer back out for Keith. Definitely the more comfortable weapon that we've seen. Thor, of course, was the Autumn Championship winner for Keith's side, though. He did find success on both weapons. Sire's cannon, however, has been a different beast for everybody in Southeast Asia.
Oh, see, Keith staying out of the way, even though he dodged back, still able to stay out of the way of that cannon. There we go, side light, looking for another one. Sire gets dodged through by Sire, but Keith is right there with a scoop off the hammer.
Yeah, and Keith's main gameplay tactic is to punish people's punishes. He's done such a great job with reversals. It's just a matter of staying inside the hitbox of players, and Sire's got to recognize that and stay out of the way. Tries to go for a neutral sig, doesn't connect. Nair is out, misses, Keith punishes.
You see, we're not getting these huge strings off this cannon here. It's not happening. Sire's having a very hard time getting anything going. Saw him back over to the the axe, I apologize. Keith staying out of the way, recovery back up, stays.
It's like a hammer.
Yeah, it does, especially on Amethyst, and that is going to send Keith down to his final stock. We might be tied up going into game number 3, Keg.
This is the most important stock for Keith in this entire tournament.
I agree. I completely agree.
If Sire wins this 2-0, I think Sire could take the tournament. But okay, not the case anymore. 1-1, 16 damage on Keith, negligible. It's just a matter now if Sire gets that cannon back.
He really needs to push the issue here. He needs to get the tie, take us all tied up into game number 3.
What a spot dodge.
Yeah, I mean, the careful gameplay is going to come out now.
Yeah.
A lot riding on the line. There's no reset to save Keith anymore.
Sire hasn't found himself in the grand final spot too many times before. I imagine now nerves may begin to set back in. He is so close. He's dancing with victory and cannot mess this up. Oh, and he came so close. Oh, if the nerves weren't out before, they are now.
He's still cooking. He's got the advantage. So much pressure. Oh, the dare off the cannon, but we swap back.
And Keith
disarmed.
Maintaining his distance, you're right, disarmed. Hammers out, Nair doesn't connect. Sire, he finds a side air. He nearly tries to get a reversal with the side sing. And there it is, the scoop is out. Keith wins it 2-0. Just needs one more.
Oh my. Okay, so the Amethyst definitely worked out a whole lot better than what we saw in game number 1. But, I mean, I cannot believe Keith was able to bring that back. 1 damage differential in that game, by the way, guys. Chat, I want to say that one more time. 1 damage difference between those two players. That is pretty much as close as you can get.
I'm looking through right now, just at our past notes. The last time we had seen Sire in a position like this in grand finals, I believe was 2023 for one of the grand finals. Yeah, Southeast Asia Winter Champs 2023. It's been 3 years since he's been in this spot.
Oh my. Lot riding on his shoulders for sure as he tries to confirm as he needs 3 games in a row against the back-to-back seasonal champion, KeithThePooPoo here. And Keith just needs one more game.
One more game, and the last tournament he would have lost has been Winters of last year. One of the few players in Brawlhalla history to win a flawless year-long seasonal streak of claiming every single season in a row.
See if he's going to be able to make it happen. Sire still has something to say about it. He still has, you know, a hand in this fight here as Keith, though, sitting him up with the neutral sig, and it's starting to get a little bit more dire for Sire here.
Yeah. Longer stage to work with for the cannon. Bigger blast zones, unfortunately, not going to be in the advantage of Sire. Keith, however, again, plenty of room to work with for both Orb and Hammer. This is exactly where you want to be to get that grand final spot.
Although Keith racking up more damage here. Recovery is going to find its home. Stays out of the way of the dare from the axe. Keith reaching up with the nairs. About to throw out. He wanted to catch Sire off that. Sire, though, saw it come and stay out of the way. But now he is in this edge guard situation again. Very close to knockout range. Oh, you gotta stop, Sire. Oh, nice weapon throw.
Sire trying to be unpredictable, but unfortunately Keith plays just so safe but so aggressive. It's such a unique play style that it's hard to out-predict him. There it is, weapon throw into a nair. Unbelievable. Sire now, with one stock left, Keith is eyes on the finish line.
Yeah, he's definitely on cruise control at this point. All 3 stocks still on his advantage. Sire, though, finally going to wrap up that first one. We see him finish off with the nair. But I think I think the writing may be on the wall. The lady is singing, as the old saying goes.
Very well could be.
But Sire fighting back with his cannon, getting a little scooped a little bit more off this hammer, though. Stomps there. And we're seeing Sire, the movement's just not there. He's not fighting back with the
veracity.
Yeah, that he had just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, at this point, Keith just looking to close it out. Sire, though, his dodge game has been unbelievable. He is learning how this Thor is working, however. There's still a chance.
Okay, that's a big chance. Wait a second, he's only an orange. This is doable. Wait a second.
Absolutely doable.
I'll shut up. This is doable. He's going to swap out, back on cannon.
That's right. If Sire just get a great string going on here, avoid the orb, actually, over the hammer. Weird to say.
Keith was kind of holding off on that weapon drop just a little bit. Although the damage is building up. If he's going to find this knockout and finish this tournament, he needs to do it now. Because Sire is starting to close the gap here just a little bit. As Keith is in yellow. Sayer's not going to be enough. Can he catch him? Weapon throw? Sire, do you have any options? He does. He touches the side of the stage. Can he make his way back up? Catches a Sire of his own. Keith whipping, sidelight Sire, and that is going to do it. KeithThePooPoo is your 2026 Winter Southeast Asia champion.
Has not lost a tournament since winters of last year. That is spring, that is summer, that is autumn, and now winters all in a row. One of the few players, if ever, to be able to have an achievement like